Yes, indeed. The LOERadio Show is in effect on WNUR 89.3 FM in Chicago. We got a full house tonight. Joining me in studio again, my favorite sparkling wiggle, the Zohan, has returned to the show.
Yes, indeed.
I also have, hold on. I also have Big J, the mixologist.
Hello, hello.
And very, very special guests to introduce a couple of Chicago artists. Photography.
They're so excited to be here, too.
I know, I can tell.
It's like ladies' night. This is great, man.
Yeah. This is probably the most women this studio has ever seen. But again, the local flavor segment featuring sisters Eva and Yola. Ladies.
Hello there.
Eva?
Can you guys hear me?
No. What number are you?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
All right. So we're working the bugs out on the board over here. Ladies, one more time if you could say hello.
Hey. Hello.
Awesome. It works. All right.
That's like the giggle room over there. Really nice.
Yeah, the closet. They're all in the closet.
It's just really happy in here, okay? Y'all
Sounds like
jealous.
It's like the other side of the lunchroom. All the girls are giggling and blah, blah, blah. We're sitting, a couple dudes sitting over here just hanging out.
Couple
We're not going
meatheads.
to dance with
That's
you
right.
guys.
That's
Separation.
It's fine as long as we can watch. It's cool.
That's cool. That's fine.
So, ladies, artists, local artistry. You're into photography. You're into painting. You're into what's going on. Well, let's start with Eva. Eva, you've written a couple of books, right?
Well, I wrote one on philosophical poetry and photography, but right now I'm working on a novel.
Hey,
Wow.
nice.
The novel is fiction, I assume.
Yes, but it's got a lot of good stuff in there. You know, the characters that go on a search for the meaning of life and things like that. So,
Do we have a tentative title for your project or no?
daydreams.
Daydreams. Awesome. Because you're a daydream believer?
Yeah.
I couldn't leave her if I tried.
Enough of the monkeys.
They probably don't get there. They're too young to know that reference.
I don't
You
know.
ladies know
I
that?
know that.
You know that. I mean,
Eva, you've seen the TV show The Monkeys?
Yes.
Here we come.
I mean, I don't think any of us were around when they filmed that, but yeah, we've seen it.
Alrighty.
Yeah, probably not.
So just to be clear, did Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy not get it right, and it's not 42, the meaning of life?
Oh, yeah.
Well, everybody's got their theories, right?
Of course, of course.
That was an awesome movie.
Yes. It's
Well,
a good book.
I think that basically, you know, we're all good at the core and life's about self-discovery and just, you know, it's that whole, you know, battle of good against evil, you know?
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, righteousness and glory. So, Eva, the artist, author, you take photos as well?
I do, yes.
Now, is this just a hobby for yourself, or is it like, do you do it for work? What's
Both. Yeah, but it's one of those things where you do it too much, you get sick of it. So I try not to make it too much of my number one job.
right? Are you into graphic design at all too? Do you
No.
touch up your stuff with Photoshop?
Sure, yeah. But they're pretty raw. The pictures are pretty raw.
Yeah.
I love it
okay.
when people can do that. So I give you like big props. It's great.
Like take a good photo and then edit it.
And it just being a legitimately like good photo. Like you have your composition,
Right,
you get
good
your
framing.
mechanics correct.
Yeah, good lighting, good speed on the lens
Mhm,
and everything.
absolutely.
That's the beauty of photography.
Yeah. Painting is also cool, and that brings me to Yola.
Hello.
Yola, you've I looked through your gallery a little bit. Your oil paintings are amazing.
Thank you very much.
Where can people see your gallery?
It is currently showing at 1933 North Damen, which is right off of Armitage, called Realty Metrics. And it'll be up till May 31st.
And the days and viewing times are Tuesday through Thursday, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m., Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And both of you are usually there, or one of you just...
Yeah, one or the other. Eva is my gallery assistant,
Oh.
so it's a family affair. But it's either me or her that are there, yeah. And we're going to have a closing reception on May 28th from 6 to 9 p.m.
Is that like a black tie affair?
Yeah.
Closed to the public?
Well, I mean, there's still people that come in sweatpants and stuff, but they're few among the group.
All are welcome.
Yes.
So where does the ideas for your paintings come from? I noticed some of them, like, I guess certain galleries have a theme to it. Like there was one with the McDonald's logo or like food from McDonald's.
Well, in my website, it's all the stuff I've ever done. So these paintings that are currently showing are 8 years in the making, and they've been totally born from my own mind, whereas I would do commissions for others. So yeah, McDonald's was one of them, and among other restaurants in Chicago. So I would stop what I was doing for my personal business and then, do what paid right away.
Right. So you were commissioned from McDonald's?
Well, no, they do a convention every year in Florida to do art for all their hotels and like corporate buildings.
Yeah.
So, there's a gallery that represents me there, and I paint for them.
Eva had mentioned something about a mural.
Yeah, I painted a mural. It was commissioned by the Ravenswood City Council. It's on Wilson and Ravenswood. So they wanted something that would tie the neighborhood together. And I didn't want to do something like where it's already been done, like steelworkers and, whatnot. So I did a play on Edgar Allan Poe, and he's riding a bicycle. He's dressed up as like a messenger. And there's a stop sign that says "Nevermore" with a raven perched on top of it.
That's right. I
Yeah.
did see that one. I did see that.
So that was pretty cool. And then that, we started talking about that in summer, but we didn't get the green light to do that until the last week of October. So I had to put that out in like 5 days, which was pretty intense.
She painted a whole building in 4 days.
Well, no, the whole side of the building in like.
Right.
But the insides too. I did all the murals inside as well.
So how much freedom did you have when you drew that? Was there like submissions that you had to give up to them?
Not at all. They were like, show us what you want. And I showed them and they loved it. And I was actually pretty shocked because Edgar Allan Poe isn't really the most positive figure in history.
Yeah, his writing's kind of dark, some would say.
But they liked it and I was thrilled. So it was just full freedom. It was great. I mean, I knew going into it that I wasn't going to be able to put like naked people on the side of the building. So I knew I was going to have to like tame it down a bit.
We don't just like stop traffic altogether.
Yeah, no Picassos. With the obscure naked ladies or whatever. Mm-hmm. So who were some of your influences then in arts?
I've always been drawn to surrealism and obvious Dali, but also Remedios Varo, who studied with Dali. Less known, but really amazing. She would do more smaller paintings, but super highly detailed, and she's pretty awesome. Dead now, but yeah.
Most artists are.
Yeah.
Most famous ones, anyway.
Yeah.
Is that something that happens with artists? Like their paintings become more famous when they die? Like what? I don't understand that.
I don't know. I think that might have been one time, but nowadays I feel like fame is a strange thing to attain as an artist because of our culture and our society. And now the thing is like faster, quicker, next. And just the way things are going, even paintings are kind of outdated, whereas like graphic design is taking over.
Right, digital art.
Yeah, and
what are your thoughts on Banksy?
I love Banksy. I invited him to my show. I don't know. I heard he was in jail last, but I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah.
He's like mysterious. You never know when he was there because you won't find out till he leaves, and he'll leave like a little sign.
No, I am absolutely in love with his work and and everything about it. As far as like. There was, I think, recently something in New York where someone was selling his prints for like $50 a pop, and people were just walking by. Yeah. And I mean, that's just like, it just points out, it just like highlights what is wrong with like art today. It's like buying a Gucci purse versus buying a purse from like, Kohl's or something. Like you're not buying it for the style of the purse or the design of the purse. You're buying it because there's like C's all over it or Louis Vuitton's all over it. So it just spells out the flaw in that.
Right, the consumerism.
Mm-hmm.
But, so Eva, do you also paint or no?
I did, and I do occasionally. I definitely went more the writing route. Yola took over the painting
Do you guys come from like a family of artists, like musicians?
Not at all, actually.
More like psychopaths.
You guys are you second generation or third generation?
First generation.
First generation. So your parents were off the boat.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Where from?
Poland.
Hey.
Polandia.
Polska power.
Nazdro.
Nastarovia.
I think it's
Yeah.
quick cheers in the bar.
You can tell Jay's Polish.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
So that's awesome, guys. When is your book expected out? Your new one?
Well, it's actually in the works right now, so it's going to be by the end of this year for sure. The other one has already been out, is Through My Eyes, and that's the one with the philosophical poetry and photography.
And people can find that on Amazon.
Amazon or a lot of other places, but I recommend Amazon. That's the best price.
You also sent me some other interesting stuff here. It says that you are a ghost hunter.
Yeah.
And you've had stories published of your ghost busting.
Yep. I mean, it's definitely the new frontier of science, because they even have colleges that have classes for this kind of stuff. And it's kind of like when you use your remote and you're watching TV, you don't see what's traveling through what, but there's something there, right? And that's what we're studying, the other dimensions,
Right. Yeah. So, what would you call something if you saw it? Like, is that an entity, or is it like...
Yeah, entity is a good word, because sometimes it could be a ghost, but it could be another dimensional being, because they are in dimensions we cannot see. And for instance, dreams were in other dimensions sometimes too,
Yeah, sure. That's a different state of consciousness.
It's like the rule of attraction, that everybody's talking about, like The Secret and all that stuff, that, it works with little stuff or big, that like we can move things with our mind, and this is stuff that's happening right now. It's all, mind into universe. That's a whole new thing right now.
Yeah. Excellent. So the name of your club that you belong to is called Legally Dead Paranormal. Is this correct?
Yep.
And what kind of gatherings do you guys have? Do you guys like meet up at a Starbucks?
Is it like a seance?
Well, we go to places.
We all hold hands.
Yeah.
Candles everywhere.
Not exactly, but we do definitely go hit up places that have high activity, that people say that there was something that happened there. Usually when there's a tragedy, they leave a strong impression. But when you actually see a ghost, some people say it's just more of an orb, that's the actual soul. Because if you see a ghost, and like I always wondered, if I died today, am I stuck wearing this outfit, doing the same thing over and over again?
Right, living the same last day of your life.
Because all these ghost stories seem like that. Well, that's the psychic impression, supposedly, when you see an apparition. Sometimes, some people say the apparitions actually communicate with them. But a lot of times with our new technology, we take pictures of orbs, and that seems to be more along the lines of the soul,
Right, because you really don't know what a soul looks like, especially if it's in another dimension.
True. Did you ever see that movie 21 Grams?
I believe I did.
How they say that no matter how tall or short you are, that all our souls are 21 grams, because when everyone dies, they get 21 grams lighter, right? So what's the one thing that we all have in common? No matter how tall or short you are, we have different size hearts and everything.
What do we have in common?
Pupils. Yeah, that's, and there are these spheres in our eyes. They say it's the mirror to our soul, and they get larger when we look at people we love, and smaller when we look at people we aren't comfortable around, or when it's really bright out, And when we die, they dilate, and that's what these orbs are. They're like these perfect spheres,
So do you think your soul leaves your bodies through your dilated pupils?
I think so, because people have been known to, have cold feet when they die first, that it's almost like it's leaving upwards. And, their eyes, they do some funky stuff, so...
Yeah.
Never know.
All right, so what's like next on the club agenda? Do you guys go to like a cemetery, or like is it like an abandoned hospital?
All sorts of places. Bars are haunted sometimes, and sometimes just houses. People will talk about their houses being haunted. Liars Club in Chicago has actually been pretty scary. I kind of don't want to return there. We've had some pretty good evidence. There's 3 murders committed in the upstairs in the exact same corner.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
We took some pictures with infrared, and we found pentagrams on the walls, things like that. So, and we have a picture. It looks like a demon if you look at the articles. Chicago Paranormal Examiner. There are definitely some interesting pictures for sure.
Is that the link to Society 6-1?
No, that one is with the photography where you could get on almost anything pretty much.
So like just your photography, or is that like the haunting?
No, that's
kind of
just photography. But I do have pictures of orbs that I published in that book and that are in the articles as well.
Awesome. And if people are interested in buying perhaps souvenir mugs, shirts, or swag of your photography, they can go to society6.com/Eva Pilch. That's EVAPILCH.
That's right.
And if people wanted to contact you to maybe let you in on some haunted stuff, or, think they might have some good photo opportunities for you, where can they reach you at?
There's the Through My Eyes by Eva Pilch fan page on Facebook. That would be a good one.
Okay, and they can just holler at you from there.
Yep.
Awesome.
I'll be contacting just so I know where to avoid. Stuff like that, I will not be able to sleep at night.
Well, you got to believe in truth and love and surround yourself in that white light.
Oh, I do, but I'm just going to a place with 3 murders and all this, occult going on. I'm just like, I won't be able to sleep tonight. So.
Yeah, how do you sleep after an event like that?
How is it possible? I mean,
I'd be too anxious and wired from like checking under my bed and opening the closet and sleeping with the lights on.
If anything, you could sleep better, right? Because sometimes when you think about life and when it ends, and to know that there's more than this, it kind of gives you a little bit of comfort,
Yeah, and not all apparitions are hostile, right?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Like, it's not the eternal, you roam the earth because of, maybe you were murdered in a horrific way or something. I don't know.
Well, there's a theory that it takes at least 40 years for a soul to reincarnate, and sometimes it could take more if you're tired. So, I mean, it all depends on the person, if they're ready to go, if they accept that they've gone. There's different reasons for it.
So you've done plenty of research on the subject.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of things would you suggest for, like, reading, or, if other people are interested in this kind of stuff?
Anything and everything, because everybody has such unique experiences.
Okay, so movies. What would your favorite movies?
There was that one movie. I can't think of the name right now, but it was with the shadow people. Maybe it was called something like that. I remember watching it, and I remember thinking that was exactly experiences I've had in dreams. Have you ever heard of sleep paralysis?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically, our mind, when we're sleeping, it's, it goes through our dreams, but our body's in a paralysis. That's why
there's some function in your brain that shuts your movement off.
Right. So you could be running in your dream, but your body's still, right?
Yeah.
Well, some people, they can wake up consciously, but their body's still in this paralysis, and that's when we are supposedly closest to the other dimensions and can see other entities and things like that. And when I read about this, everybody had the same experience. They would see like a shadow person observing them, or like an electric bug on the wall. So it's really odd that everybody going through this saw the same things. But there was that one movie where they had the watchers or the shadow people. I caught a part of it once, and I wish I could remember it. I'm sorry. but
what about Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore?
That had shadow people in it.
Yeah.
That's right.
They dragged away Jimmy Superfly.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
a
right.
lot of movies, they use a lot of examples from, real life. Art mimics reality and all that.
What the hell is that?
It was Beth.
Somebody ringing. The phone's been ringing nonstop.
It has.
I'm not picking it up. So whoever's calling, you're gonna have to email me.
Well, they lost their chance when they hung up.
Yeah, screamo, emo screamo.
Yeah.
Could have been on air. Could have
Way to go, emo
shared
screamo.
some laughs, but no, you had to blow it for everybody else.
Do you feel like with the whole thing with the souls, I know there's such things as auras and whatnot. Do you feel like that's definitely something that like plays into like how you perceive people?
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of our energies and things like that, we could read on that stuff, but we're suppressed a lot with the things in our society that won't let us use our minds. I mean, what is it now? They say 11% of our brains we use. They use psychics in the military and things like that, and we could pick up stuff such as ESP or be more in touch with our intuition and psychic abilities and things like that. We just, we're too distracted with just basically being breeders and feeding the machine,
Yeah.
Going to work and all this and getting, drowned out with the media and sucked into our Facebooks that we can't really get into touch with that too much,
Mm-hmm.
So where do you stand on the supernatural Yola?
I like to stay away from it because Eva's engrossed me in it my entire childhood because she pretty much raised me. So
she scared the hell out of you when you guys were
I
kids?
pretty much have a phobia of anything haunted.
Can you watch scary movies at least?
Barely. And I can't go into haunted houses without like peeing myself a little bit. It's really bad.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I'm a 30-year-old woman, so it's pretty bad.
Way to go, Eva. Tortured the poor girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny taking her to the haunted houses and stuff. She'd be
Yeah.
crying.
And, like, holding her down
Oh
while
my
people
God.
scare the hell out of her.
Yeah, the people working there love that too. They'll always find those people scared and go after them the most, so they made
Well,
her
you
worse.
get the bigger screams.
Yeah,
from them.
yeah,
That's the
the
best part. I
easy
mean, you get these
pickings.
girls screaming on top of their lungs. You can't sell that.
As somebody who worked in a haunted house for 2 years,
Absolutely.
it's the most fun.
Well, and then when you develop something, when you realize that, you have to look at a monster and count to 5 before you look away, because then they know you're scared.
Some skeletons in the closet.
Right.
You know what though? Her paintings though, I swear to God, she's getting tapped into by someone because she definitely has a lot of interesting messages. They're so thought provoking, you know.
Yeah, the ones that I was looking at here is, what's the most recent gallery in your art here?
So it's the main page.
Is it the multifarious?
It's going to be right when you go to YolaPilch.com. It's going to be the main page, the 9 paintings that are up. So,
okay.
the most recent one is actually, I still need to get the high-res photo for. So there's one painting that's not on the website that is in the gallery. But the one that I think is the most, I guess, controversial, or I should say the one that catches people's eyes, is the one that's called An Idea Is Born.
Is that the pregnant
Yeah.
woman with the
Yeah. That one is hated by most men. Actually, I think I met 2 guys that like that painting, but out of the 8 years that I had that painting.
All right, if I had to describe it to people who are listening,
Oh boy.
what it is a naked pregnant woman laying on an oversized notepad, and where she would be giving birth from the birth canal, it looks like something bursted through the portrait. I'm assuming that would be the rubble of paper.
Yeah. So there's all those bad ideas around her. So it's called An Idea Is Born because you in everything in life, not just drawing or for me painting, it's all the things that you have to go through and find a new plan, and basically bad ideas that you did and failed.
Right.
So yeah, that's an actual hole in the canvas. I sewed it and burned it. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
That's a pretty neat feature to a painting.
That's
And
pretty
it
cool.
fits in. Yeah, it is pretty cool. And if people would like to check this out, you would go to Yola Pilch. That's YOLAPILCH.com. And the name of your current gallery is called
Realty Metrics.
No,
that's the name of the place,
Yeah.
right? But isn't it Infinitely Ever After?
It is. The show is Infinitely Ever After, yeah.
Okay, and you're using the scales of justice in that picture, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. So that's a triptych. There's 3 paintings, and the Lady of Justice is on a tightrope, using a balancing beam with the scales of justice, and she's blindfolded, just pointing out that it's a very difficult job to have as far as knowing who's right and who's wrong in a situation.
Right, with the 2 guns on either side being what's holding the chain that she's walking on. Wow, that is, what inspires you to draw something like this? What is it like? What are you thinking that it's I can represent this in an awesome picture by doing this?
I like to. One time someone was talking about how when someone starts talking about their dreams, people tend to lose interest after 15 seconds because words can't express how you felt in a dream because it's an emotion, it's a feeling, right? So even when the person who's describing the dream, they're like, oh, you don't know how it felt. I'm saying it all wrong. It's the same way as when I come up with my paintings, because it starts with an emotion and it's like a stage in my head that I kind of paint out like a dream. So it's never needed to use words. So it's kind of like this feeling, almost like an emotive process.
Right.
And so that's why I actually am timid to talk about it, because I feel like when I open my mouth, I actually do more harm to the painting than if you just looked at it and digested it yourself and let it speak to you. But, that's not right. Everyone needs to talk about stuff and,
Yeah, for sure.
but
It's it helps people understand where you're coming from with your art.
For sure.
Would you say you have a little bit of a political tone?
Yeah, definitely.
Because the next one that I'm looking at here is the Ben Franklin, the
Yeah.
$100 bill, and it's I superimposed like some sort of clock tower.
Yeah, so what that is like when you check a bill, if it's a good, like, you know, it's a valid bill, not
Right.
counterfeit.
It's got the like holograph or whatever.
Right. So that's the reverse side of the bill coming through. And he's hushing.
Yeah, he's got the finger over his mouth like
Yeah.
shh.
So it's basically just like that one talks about like basically censorship, which I'm dealing with right now. I had an Instagram account and I got it terminated because I put up, I don't know, I'm guessing nudity because I don't know what else they would have terminated for.
The idea picture maybe.
No, that one wasn't even up yet. Like I was just putting up stuff that I used to paint, and it was just like I mean, it was just insane to me that in the year 2015 that we're still, you know, so prude, especially Americans, about naked. Like, it's not a big deal. I think if you, like, and I made a new Instagram account because they just terminated me, didn't red flag me, didn't tell me why. They just ripped me off of it. So now I started a new one, and I've put, like, black squares on all the nipples and stuff. So
Yeah,
like,
that's hilarious.
I think it looks more sexy with the black squares, personally. But
Right, a little more
It leads
provocative.
to the imagination, essentially.
But
Yeah.
yeah, well, the bill is more like censorship, and it's kind of like our society is growing so big, like the earth is overpopulating, and like there's a lot of stuff that government doesn't tell us, and in a way, it's almost sometimes a good thing, because like, I mean, no offense to the masses, but I mean, I guess it is offensive. Like, there's a lot of stupid people out there, and I don't know what they would do with all that information. So, I mean,
That's
maybe,
a good point.
So, I mean, in a way, it's good, and in a way, I mean, at what line is it good, and at what line is it hurting, or what line is it helping?
Right, and we know the lines of censorship are blurring every day, and they're widening and broadening on every topic and every subject, moving into video games. Like, they just want to take certain words out of movies. They want to take certain themes or certain ideas out of the public consciousness. It's ridiculous. Like, I understand where you're coming from with the censorship issue.
It's an amazing painting.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
amazing. I like it. I
What-
love the symbolism of it. So.
Thank you.
So 60 by 36, that is time consuming. I have to wonder.
Yeah. Well,
Like, from start to finish, where does your, you know, after your idea is conceived, do you rough draft it and then put it on a painting?
yeah,
or-
everything is thought out meticulously before paint ever hits the canvas. And I would say if I didn't work like 7 jobs at once, I would probably be able to paint, like for that painting, for example, in like 2 months. But, you know, like I said, there's life, you know, you got to pay the bills. So I can't just sit in my apartment and paint all day. Maybe not today, but maybe one day.
Well, yeah, it's not exactly paying the bills just yet.
All right.
The next picture I'm looking at here is kind of like a chessboard with a young lady, it looks like, with a dealer hat on, holding 5 cards like she's playing poker over this chessboard. What's going on here with the faces?
Okay, so it's a game, right? And it's a strategy, kind of like, you know, we're mixing a bunch of games up, and in a way, I've made them all like staring down at her, except for the king and queen at the top. Basically, like watching her next move. She's, you know, in a stance of like thought, like she's deciding what she should do next.
Plotting her next move.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like how like society's looking at you, like, oh, you're 30, are you married yet? Do you have kids? You know, or it's kind of like, what are you doing with your life? Did you go to school? What about this? Like, and it's not just, you know, I mean, as simple as that, as far as like, you know, other things and relative for each person, but and how they're in black and white and she's in full color, so it's kind of like showing how nothing's really black and white, you know, and there's a lot of gray area to things. But,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's most definitely eye-catching stuff.
yeah. Thank you.
I would like to invite people to come check out your paintings once again at the Realty Metrics at 1933 North Damen Avenue. That was Damen and what now?
Armitage.
Damen and Armitage.
It's right in the Wicker Park, Bucktown neighborhood.
Yeah.
Great neighborhood.
Know it well. And the name of the gallery is called Infinitely Ever After with Eva Pilch. Yolanda is your full name, correct?
Yes.
And the hours, again, were...
Tuesday through Thursday, noon to 6.
Correct.
And Saturdays from 10 to 4.
Absolutely. And if anybody would like to reach out to Yola, if you got something that you'd like her to paint, she could probably come up with something to freelance for you, I guess. You can contact her at Yolanda, YOLANDA .pilch, PILCH at yahoo.com. Very, very great stuff. And I'm glad you guys are here this evening. Or this morning, actually, because it is Sunday morning now. And we've skipped like 5 calls since the segment started. So I'm going to give out the phone number one more time. If somebody wants to call in and talk about some art or maybe some photography or maybe even ghost hunting, you can do so by calling 847-866-9687. Once again, that phone number is 847-866-9687. WNUR, and this is the LOERadio Show on WNUR-FM 89.3. Guys, you got any questions for the ladies?
Do you do any of the upcoming like summertime art fest or exhibits or anything like that? I know that we're in the season for that, and besides the gallery displays.
No?
Something went wrong.
You can't hear nothing?
I can hear her. Can she hear me?
Can you hear?
Is everything okay here?
No.
Verizon! Can you hear me now?
That is not good.
Oh, I heard it.
You hear it?
Yeah.
All right. Do you do any of the upcoming like festivals or any of the art exhibits?
Yeah, like
Any
summer.
upcoming besides like the gallery displays. I mean,
Well,
this is amazing work you have here. It's really, really,
Thank you.
more people should be out there and appreciate art. I mean, it's such a it's
Yeah,
beautiful. I
it
mean,
doesn't get enough attention. It's not like, Mad Max the movie where, it's advertised all over TV and radio to come see some art, Get a little culture in your lives, people.
Absolutely.
Go out and
beautiful.
support
It's
local
it's
art.
a great gifts that she has. I mean, I love the one with the Ben Franklin one. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
it's such so relevant to today's times. So.
Yeah, very subtle, like I said, eye-catching, and it's, it got some political overtones to it a little bit. Would you call yourself an activist, Yola?
I mean, I don't think I have time to be called an activist, really, because, as far as, my paintings speak, so that's one thing I can do, but, I'm just, and the show itself talks about how much we work versus how much we play, and, we live to work or work to live kind of a deal, so it's, I don't even have time to, sleep or shower sometimes, so I don't really know how much I can, do to, actively change things.
Right.
This is your way of being active.
Yeah, absolutely. Your words aren't being spoken verbally, but they are coming out in your stuff.
Yeah, but as far as for art shows and stuff like that, I plan on selling prints there. There's Lightning in a Bottle in California. It's happening the 21st through the 24th. I have friends there that are going to be representing me and selling my prints there. So I'm really excited about that. And then now that this is a chapter that's finally ending, I get to start new, projects and then actually get more involved in the art fairs and stuff. Whereas before I was just hidden away in a room for hours. But
Fantastic. Yeah. These things get to be seen.
thanks.
Yeah, you got good timing too, because it's right where pretty much everyone's going to be outside enjoying the art too.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Absolutely.